Okay, so, I guess I kind of just wanted to make this video just because, I don't know, I kind of just wanted to talk about it and whatever and, like, do, like, I guess, horror movie kind of stuff. So, if you don't really know what this is basically just like, it's kind of like, there's those lists where it's like, 25 days of like Christmas movies kind of thing, or like, kind of like advent calendar kind of stuff where you do one every day until Christmas. So like 25 days, 25 movies or whatever. So you watch one movie every day and, whatever. And so this is BlumHouse, 25 Days of Horror. And so it's like, I guess, a bunch of BlumHouse movies. And, they posted this on their Instagram, so you can, watch all these movies. And, or I guess it's like, a bunch of movies that they produced, but also, like, I guess some movies that they helped with or something like that. That's kind of, you know, I think that's kind of what it is, basically. But yeah, so you got all of the 25 movies here and whatever, so yeah, that's kind of just what that is if you don't know what it is. But, I guess let's get into it because this is probably going to be kind of a long video. So yeah, so I guess I'll go with the first one. Of course, I'm going to go in order. And the first one is Us. This one, is, scary movie. And, I wanted to talk about this because some of these movies aren't really exactly horror movies. They're a little not horror movies. Not really. Some of them are kind of horror movies, but not really at the same time. But, with Us, the first movie, it is a horror movie. Kind of a weird ending. If you didn't see it, then I guess I won't spoil it. But I guess I don't know why you'd be watching this if you didn't see all these movies, or at least know of them and whatever. Or like if you didn't do this list, then I don't know why you'd be watching this. But whatever. But uh, you know, the this movie was actually like kind of scary. Like horror movies don't usually scare me because usually they're just kind of not scary. Like, I don't know how you can make a horror movie and it not be scary, but usually horror movies aren't really that scary. And I'm also going to be talking about that kind of in this video too. But, like, Us was actually kind of scary with the, like, uncanny valley of the other characters. Like, they look human, but they're not human kind of thing. And so, it's the uncanny valley of like the way that they look at the other characters and like the way that they talk. The main actor in this movie, she did a great job with her like other self, or her like character's other self, like the evil version, the clone version, whatever kind of thing. Like she did a good job with like just staring scary and like talking in just such a way where it's like uncanny. And like, I hate it, but I also love it. It was pretty great. Like, I feel like the main actor, she, like, carried this fucking movie. It would not be as scary if she didn't do such a good job, and if it had a different actor, it probably wouldn't be the same. Like, she carried this shit. It's great. So, you know, I guess if you want an actually scary movie, then you can go watch Us. So, I kind of just like didn't watch this movie for a while because I just thought maybe it would just be the same dumb bullshit that horror movies usually are, but it was actually kind of scary. So, you know, I guess I was wrong about that. um, and then I guess that's kind of it for that one. I'm gonna move on to the second one. The second one is Cam. This one's I guess I wouldn't really call this one that much of a horror movie, all that much. Like, I guess it's kind of scary, but not really at the same time. Like, it's not like horror movie level of scary, so like, I don't really know why it's a part of this. Like, horror movies, you're thinking of like monsters and like slasher kind of stuff, and I don't know. I guess it's kind of scary where they're like have this weird clone thing. I guess it's like, I mean, Us was scary with the clone things, but then this was kind of like not so scary. Like, I don't know, something with it is like not really whatever. I guess with like, oh, they're like taking over her, whatever, and I guess that's kind of scary, but like at the same time, I don't know if I would call it horror movie level scary, so I don't know. I don't really know. Cam wasn't really that scary, I guess. I don't know. Um, and then I guess I'll just move on to the third one for this because I don't really have much to say about the second one. The third one is called Hush, and this one, I don't know, I feel like it kind of horror, but I feel like it's a little more like psychological horror, which, you know, is horror stuff. But like it's literally like the main character is deaf, and so you know she can't hear anything, and she can't really talk either. Not like, you know, sometimes when someone's deaf they can, like, you know, since they can't hear, they probably, you know, can't really hear themselves very well, or not at all really, so then they just, you know, can't speak because then, you know, they can't pronounce stuff correctly because they're not, you know, whatever. So, you know, they gotta do the sign language thing in Hush. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's, you know, horror, thriller, kind of whatever, but also at the same time, it wasn't that scary. Because, like, you know, if the dude, like, if, you know, I'm sure you probably watched it if you're watching this, because, you know, spoilers, obviously. I don't really want to get into spoilers, but, you know, I kind of have to sometimes with some of these movies. But, like, once the person that's kind of like going after her takes his mask off, then it's like it's not scary anymore. Like the mask kind of makes him look more scary, but once he takes his mask off, then he's not scary. He kind of just looks like an idiot. So I'm just like, he had his mask on for like what, 2 minutes? I don't know, something like that. He didn't have his mask on very long, and I'm kind of just like, well, fuck that. It's not scary anymore. So, you know, if he just left his mask on, then, you know, it would actually be kind of scary because you can't see his face, and so it's like, you know, whatever. But yeah, so it kind of lost the scariness after a while, after a little bit, so it's kind of just like, whatever. I don't know, but, you know, I guess, you know, it technically is a horror movie, so, you know, whatever. And then I guess I'll move on to the fourth one. And this one, this one was just like, you know, every time there's like a movie with like, oh, it's a ghost or demon like possessing a person or a house or whatever, and it's always the same stuff of like, oh, we want to like take over this person or take over this space or whatever. It's kind of just like, it's always the same shit every single time, and I'm kind of sick of it. Like, it's always like, oh, we want to take this person as a vessel, we want to have this house as our thing where we live, and it's kind of just like, can there be like a new thing? Like, can we, you know, not have the same ghost story over and over and over again? And then the ending was kind of just like, yeah, that's fucking dumb. Like, fuck this, it's not scary. So I'm kind of just like, you know, whatever, don't care. And then there's like 500 other like sequels of Sinister, and I'm kind of just like, why is there so many other sequels? That's dumb. So I'm kind of just like, why is there so many? But anyways, I guess I will move on to the next movie, and number 5, it's The Invisible Man. And this movie, I guess it's, you know, thriller, psychological horror kind of thing, which I guess, you know, having an abusive partner is like basically like you're in your own horror thing, story kind of thing. But like at the same time, I'm kind of like, when I think of horror movies, I don't usually think of like, you know, you have a shitty husband and he's like fucking with you, I guess. I don't know. But like, you know, I guess if it was like he wasn't actually whatever and she was just like kind of going a little more crazy, then like I would think it's more scary, I guess, and I would like get it more, but like this seems a little more like science fiction kind of thing, I guess. I don't know, I guess it's horror science fiction kind of thing, so it's a little, I don't know. When I think of horror, I don't really think of something like this, so I don't know. I'm kind of like, whatever. But like, it's, I guess, an okay movie. I don't know. Whatever. I guess also Hush was okay, but I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm shitting on like all the movies in here, but you know, it doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. It just means that they're like, I don't know, not exactly horror movies, but I don't know, whatever. Um, and then the sixth movie. This movie, like, it's, I guess, supposed to be. I feel like I'm pretty sure it's based off of a Jewish demonology thing. I don't know. I guess if anyone watching this video knows anything about like Jewish, like, I don't know, legends or something like that, I don't know what word to use, then you know, you can kind of tell me what this is supposed to be, because I don't really know exactly what it's supposed to be. But it's like the Vigil, I don't know if that's the right way to say that word, but you know, if you know how to whatever, then you know, just say it in the comments, I guess. But it's kind of more psychological, kind of horror thing, not so much of a horror movie. I don't think I would count it as a horror movie all that much. And maybe it's just because like I'm not Jewish, and so it's like, you know, I don't really know exactly what it is in the first place. I don't really have any reason to be scared of the movie, so like, I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know, but you know, I guess explain what it is in the comments if you know what this one is. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of whatever. And then the seventh one is Firestarter. This is not a horror movie. The seventh one is not a movie or not, it's not a movie. It is a movie, but it's not a horror movie. This is more like, I guess, you know, fictional kind of whatever, superhero kind of shit, because they get like powers and stuff. And so it's like, you know, I mean, I guess like the government hunting them down is like the horror part, but even then it's like not really. Like, if you ever watched Heroes, the show from like, was it like 2008 when Heroes was a thing, and then Heroes Reborn was in like, I don't know, 2014 I want to say. I can look it up actually. Heroes show, I think it was 2006. Okay, so like I was kind of close with the dates of when this came out, but yeah, it's 2006. If you ever watched that show, then it's kind of similar to that, where they just like have powers, but it was more like a science experiment kind of thing, which is, I guess, still kind of similar to Heroes, but you know, it kind of reminded me of that. And then there's Heroes Reborn. That was 2015, so I was pretty close with the date on that one too. But it's kind of like that. I don't count that as a horror thing. That's more like science fiction kind of stuff. So you know, that's not a horror movie at all. I don't know why the fuck it was in this list, but okay, whatever. That was kind of, you know, whatever, I guess. And then the next one is the Black Phone, which I guess if you ever watched Moon Knight, and the villain in that show. He's the same guy that plays the villain in this show, you know, or this movie, I mean, not show. But yeah, it's the same actor, and this is kind of like, I guess it is, you know, it's a horror movie where it's kind of like this person kidnaps people and kills them, or kidnaps kids and kills them and stuff like that. So, you know, it's, you know, actually kind of scary, I guess. But I mean, he only kidnaps kids, so I guess this would only be scary for children, so I don't know. But, you know, this one wasn't really horrible. This was actually kind of a good movie, so, you know, I guess if you liked the actor from Moon Knight, that's the villain, then maybe you should watch Black Phone. So, you know, whatever. So that was, you know, kind of horror movie, whatever stuff. And then number 9, which is they, them. I actually, want more LGBT stuff, but this movie kind of just wasn't it for that. Like, it is a slasher kind of movie where it's like, campy, whatever, I guess. I don't know about campy, but like, it kind of tries to get into that little slasher kind of whatever, kind of get into like, old slasher movies and stuff like that. But it's also kind of just like, seems like an excuse to kind of be homophobic and transphobic, so I'm kind of like, like, if you're a gay person yourself, if you're a part of the LGBT community, you might not want to watch this one just because it has to do with like conversion therapy and shit like that. Especially if you've gone through that kind of shit yourself, you probably don't want to watch that one. So, it was kind of not that great. So, yeah, I don't like, it was like kind of horror, I guess, especially with like the conversion therapy kind of shit, but also it's kind of just like, why the fuck did you add that? That's kind of shitty for those of us who are gay, so, thanks a lot for doing that. What the fuck? I guess I'll move on to the next one, which is number 10, and it's The Visitor. This one was kind of weird. I don't really, whatever, this was kind of just, what the fuck, weird, I don't know, like, I mean, I guess it's kind of scary, because it's kind of like a cult kind of thing, but it's also kind of just like, what the fuck. I don't know if I would really call this a horror movie. Like, it started out seeming kind of like it could have been a horror movie, but then, like, they kind of just ruined it at the end, and it's kind of just like, okay, thanks a lot for kind of doing that. I don't really care. Like, I would not watch this movie again. Like, if you haven't watched The Visitor, then I'd probably say don't, because it's kind of just like weird and doesn't really make any sense. Like, I don't fucking whatever, but whatever, I guess. And then there's Halloween Ends, which is number 17. I already watched it before, and I wasn't gonna watch it again, and I don't really care for it, so I'm just like, whatever, I skipped it, because I just didn't really care, and I don't know, I guess if you like the Halloween movies, then you can watch them, but I wouldn't really watch Halloween Ends again. And then number 12, Pharma Bro. It's a documentary, so I was kind of just like, I'm just gonna skip that one, because, like, it has, like, real life horror stuff, but, like, I was kind of just like, I'm not watching a documentary, because I don't really, whatever, so, I was kind of just like, I don't really care, so it's kind of, like, cheap that they just added a documentary, like, add a movie, not a documentary, I guess, maybe you want to spread awareness about what it's about, but at the same time, I don't know, it's not really, like, a movie, I guess, it's a documentary, so, kind of weird. And then number 13 is Vengeance. I'm gonna have to, whatever, Vengeance. So this one, I don't really count this as a horror movie. This isn't horror at all. It's kind of just a mystery thing, and I just didn't care about this movie at all. Like, it was just boring and kind of dumb. Like, I don't really care. It's not a horror movie, so I don't know why the fuck it's on this list. Like, what the fuck? And then number 14 is Happy Death Day. I don't know if I'd really count this as a horror movie, cause, like, I don't know. Did they make more movies about Happy Death Day? Cause, like, Happy Death Day 3 comes up. I don't think they would make more. Yeah, doesn't look like they made more. But, like, this one, I don't know if I'd really call this a horror movie. Like, they try to go with, like, oh, slasher, killer, whatever, but I don't know. It's kind of like sci-fi, I guess, and like mystery more than anything, I guess. But I don't know. After a while, it's just like, this isn't scary. Like, maybe it's scary for the first like little bit there when it starts getting to like scary stuff, but then it's kind of just like, whatever, don't care. Like, it's not scary, so whatever. And then the number 15 is Oculus, which I actually watched this movie however long ago, and I kind of forgot about it, and then like when it came up on the list, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll watch this, and then I was like, I watched this before, and I kind of don't care about it. It was kind of whatever. The fact that I forgot about it, and then like I remembered when I like started watching it, kind of says a lot. Like, I forgot pretty much like a lot about it, and so I'm kind of just like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of just like the fact that I forgot about it, probably because it was pretty boring. So I'm kind of just like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch it again because I don't care. I didn't care about this movie, so I'm just like, whatever. Like, it is kind of a horror movie, but I don't know, at the same time, kind of like, whatever. Um, and then the 16th one is Nanny. This one is, kind of, I don't know, yeah, I guess it's a horror movie, but at the same time, I don't know, like, there's a ghosty kind of character, but at the same time, it's not like, I guess, coming after her. It's more of like just showing visions, I guess. And it's not like super scary, I guess. I don't know if I'd really counted it as a horror movie. It's more of just like mystery, science fiction, I don't know, something like that. Thriller, mystery kind of thing, so I don't know if I'd really call it a horror movie. Um, but like, I guess that one was okay for a movie. And then Torn Hearts. Um, this one, I guess, horror movie within like uh the music industry kind of horror thing, I guess. Like oh, these people will do anything for fame and whatever. So it's like, I guess that's kind of horror, but at the same time, it was kind of dumb. I guess so. I'm kind of just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. But I guess go to the next one, which is Sweetheart. And the entire time I watched this one, I just kind of thought of Lost, because it's pretty much the same thing where, oh, people get into a wreck and they're on a mysterious island and there's monsters on the island kind of thing. And, it's pretty much Lost, because if you ever watched the TV show Lost, they get into a plane crash and they crash on this island that is like mysterious and whatever, and then they have to like figure out how to survive on the island, and there's like other creatures and stuff on the island, and they're like monster kind of things, and so yeah, it kind of like, it's good for the first bit of the show, and then it kind of just gets a little weird after a while, and the last like season or two is kind of just like, what the fuck. But I Lost, I guess, good, whatever. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the movie. That's kind of like that. The movie is, I guess, horror, thriller kind of thing, but like, at the same time, I'm kind of like, eh. Because, like, the monster wasn't really, like, I guess it was kind of scary, but, like, when you see it, it's, like, not that scary at the same time, because it's kind of, like, shitty CGI, so it's kind of, like, boring, not really scary, whatever, and, yeah, so I'm kind of just, like, whatever. And then there is Black Box, which is number 19. this one, you know, this wasn't, I guess, that bad of a movie. It's more sci-fi, I guess, than horror. I'd say it's more sci-fi, science fiction kind of thing than it is a horror movie. It's like slightly horror, I guess. It has a little bit of horror elements in there, but I'd say it's more science fiction than it is horror. It's just like science fiction mostly, and then like little horror elements sprinkled in there. So I think if you like horror movies, you probably wouldn't be that disappointed with this, because there's still kind of like, some horror stuff in there, but you know I guess it's like, don't expect it to be like completely horror, so whatever. And then the next one, which is number 20, and it's a Ouija board, and it's like, an Ouija movie, and it's Origins of Evil specifically. And this was. I literally fell asleep watching this movie. That's how boring it was. Like, I hate movies like where it's like, you know, it's the same shit as like 500 other horror movies. It's like, oh hey, ghost demon saying, we're gonna come after you, and like, we want this person for a vessel or whatever. We want this house or this person or whatever. And it's kind of just like, come up with something different. Like, I don't want the same shit of like, Ghost wants to take over this thing. Like, don't you think ghosts have like other goals and not just take over this person or this like area or building or whatever? Like, don't you think they want to do other shit that instead of just, be a ghost and torment people? Like, I don't know, like, where's everything else? Like, it's literally just torment these people because I want this or that. And it's like the same, like, couple things every time. So I'm kind of just like, this is dumb, this is boring, don't care, literally fell asleep to this movie. So I'm kind of just like, fuck that. And then Insidious, literally the same fucking thing, where it's like ghost demon thing trying to take over this person or whatever, and you know, like, and it's just like two movies in a row where it's like a ghost demon thing trying to like take over this thing or this person or whatever, and it's like, stop. I don't like, just stop. It's always the same shit with these like ghost and demon stuff. Like, I'm kind of tired of it. Like, every time with these ghost and demon movies, it's always the same shit all the time, and I'm kind of tired of it. And then the next one, 22, is Paranormal Activity, which I watched. Like, I avoided the Paranormal Activity movies because I knew they were shit. I knew they were stupid as fuck. And so it's just like, why the fuck did I start watching it now that it was on this list? And I was just like, I started watching this, and I got like maybe an hour into it. I don't even know how I even got an hour into it because it was like so fucking boring and like shitty acting and just dumb. And I don't understand why there's like 5 sequels to this movie. I think there's like 5 or 6 or maybe even almost 10 Paranormal Activity videos, and I'm just like, why? Why is there so many? Like, it's dumb and bad acting and like it like just no. I avoided this movie for a fucking reason. So I'm just like, well, who asked for this? Really, like, it's really bad. Like, I avoided it for a reason. So, you know, not surprised that I just stopped watching in the middle of it and just like ditched it, because I'm just like, I don't care. Like, it's dumb, it's stupid, it's horrible. Don't watch Paranormal Activity videos unless you like the just shitty ass horrible shit. Like, they're trying to take themselves seriously even though they're really bad at it. So it's like, I don't know, like, if you like that kind of shit, then do you, I guess. But I it's bad. I avoided it for a reason. I knew it was horrible, so I don't know why the fuck I even tried. And then the next one is number 23, and it's a nasty piece of work. I could not find this movie anywhere. It says it's on Hulu, but, not everyone has that whatever, so, like, I couldn't find it anywhere else. Like, it's literally, I guess, only on Hulu for some reason. And, so I wasn't able to watch 23. So, I don't know. I'm pretty sure, like, when I tried to look for it, then, like, reviews and stuff, I think were kind of bad. So, probably not the best. Also, from looking at it, it doesn't look that great anyways. So, I'm kind of just like, okay, I guess whatever then. I guess it doesn't really matter. And then 24, I also could not find this movie anywhere else. I guess it's only on Hulu. Couldn't find it, like, anywhere, like, at all. So I'm just like, I don't know. But also, from looking at it and from, like, reviews, I think the reviews were also horrible on this one too when I tried to look for it. So it's kind of just like, you know, maybe I shouldn't watch it then. Maybe it's a sign from the universe that I should not watch 23 or 24. So, you know, I guess whatever then. 25, I was able to watch 25, and so, I was able to find it somewhere, so then I could watch it. So I was able to find all of these movies except for 23 and 24, and then 25 I was able to find, and it's Black Christmas. And this one, it's kind of just, cult shit, which you kind of get within the first however long of the movie. You kind of just like, oh, it's a culty kind of thing, because they're all wearing, like, cloaks and shit. And with the cult thing, like, Us had the cult thing, but it wasn't, like, the focus of the movie, so I think that's why it was okay. And it, like, I guess it's a little disappointing that it was a cult thing, but at the same time, like, it wasn't the focus, and it wasn't that bad, so, for us it was okay, but for Black Christmas it was kind of just like, I'm kind of tired of the culty thing, and then also, like, I mean, I guess cults are scary, because, like, they happen in real life, and they can be, like, really horrible and damaging to people, and damaging to families, especially if those families have kids and stuff, and they, like, brainwash these kids, and then they grow up with all this trauma and shit, so, and there's always a lot of abuse in cults, too, so, you know, it's actually real and scary. So, I kind of, I guess, get that. But also with horror movies, I don't think it works very well when it comes to horror movies. It kind of just comes off as cheesy and dumb. Also, they kind of try to go with the whole feminism thing and, like, men are evil kind of thing and, like, whatever, and it kind of makes it a little more cheesy. Like, yes, there are men in real life that are like that are, like, really horrible and and dumb, and, like, it's kind of cheesy though when it comes to a movie, I guess. I don't know. It seems like a lot of movies nowadays are trying to go with this whole feminism, men are evil kind of thing, and I don't know. Like, we get enough of this bullshit in real life, so do we really need it in a movie? It's the same thing with, like, they, them, and whatever. It's like the homophobia and the transphobia and conversion therapy and shit. It's like, we get enough of this shit in real life. I don't need it in a movie too. It's just like, what the fuck. But yeah, I just, like, I don't know. Like, when I watched, it was The Craft. So there's the original Craft movie that was from however long ago, and that movie's actually good. But then they made Craft Legacy, which wasn't bad until, like, all of a sudden this dude comes up and he's like, oh, I'm gonna, like, steal your magic, and because women shouldn't have power and men shouldn't have all the power and whatever, and then it kind of became cheesy, and I was like, okay, this is dumb. Like, I get there's men in real life that are like that, but, like, when it comes to a movie, it kind of feels cheesy for some reason to me. Like, I don't know, like, something about it just seems really cheesy and dumb, and I don't really like it, so, it's like, maybe it's just like I get too much of that shit in real life, of, like, you know, I see that stuff too much in real life, and whatever, are people talking about it too much. Maybe I just need to, like, move away from that part of the internet or something. I don't know, but I see it too much in real life. So I don't need to see it in movies too. Like, I don't care to see it in movies too, because it seems weird and cheesy and kind of dumb and whatever. So, you know. But yeah, I guess that's it for the list. So I guess in, like, you know, talking about all of these movies here, only like a few of them were like good or okay or whatever. And then, like, you know, kind of like, I want to say almost half, or like pretty good chunk of them aren't really that scary, or just not horror movies at all, or whatever. Or, like, most of them weren't scary, and then like a few of them weren't horror movies at all. And it's kind of just like, well, why did you add these movies? Like, Firestarter was nowhere near being a horror movie. Pharma Bro is a documentary, so I don't know if I can really whatever. And then Vigilance, I think, was that. Yeah, that one I think was also just like one of the ones that wasn't whatever. Um, Torn Hearts, I don't know if I mean, I guess it's kind of whatever, but I don't know, at the same time, it's a little, like, it's whatever. And then Invisible Man, I guess, you know, abuse is kind of like scary, but also at the same time it's more sci-fi seeming kind of energy than it does seem like horror movie. I don't know. I guess it's horror sci-fi, I guess, in a way, because I say it's sci-fi because, like, he's literally wearing a suit that makes him invisible, so, like, that really seems like a sci-fi kind of thing. um, but yeah, like, most of these were just, like, not scary at all. Like, there was maybe, like, a couple that were scary, and then the rest were not scary at all. Like, it's kind of disappointing, but, like, also, it's kind of like, what do I expect from horror movies? Horror movies are just not scary. Like, I've never really been scared of a horror movie, so, you know, even with Us, which, you know, was actually kind of scary with, like, the Uncanny Valley, like, I'm still kind of just like, it's, you know, it's kind of scary, I guess, with the Uncanny Valley, but also at the same time, it's not like I'm worried or scared all the time because of that movie. So I'm kind of just like, I don't know. I feel like if a movie was going to scare me, I would have to be pretty scared for, like, a few days or whatever, because usually if I get scared of something, it might be for, like, the rest of that day, and then, like, the next day I'm, like, not scared of it anymore, because I'm just like, whatever, kind of, like, forget about it and whatever. And it's like, after a while, like, it's not really scary anymore. But, like, there's very few things that have actually scared me for, like, a few days or something like that. And so I'm kind of just like, where the fuck are all the movies like that where they'll, like, you know, actually scare me for, like, a few days, and not just, like, not at all. Like, so many horror movies are just not scary at all. So I'm kind of just like, what the fuck? Where's all the scary shit? Like, why is it not here? So, you know. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to talk a little bit about, of, like, how it's just, you know, kind of disappointing and not really scary, and some of these aren't horror movies at all. So I'm kind of just like, what the fuck, guys? Why did you make this list if it's not all horror movies? It's kind of dumb, kind of stupid, you know, it doesn't make sense. So, you know, I don't know. But, like, I mean, I guess I didn't have to watch this list of movies, but I kind of just wanted to, because it's kind of like a little challenge thing of, like, watch one every day and whatever. So, you know, I don't know, though. But yeah, anyways, I guess that's it for this video, though. So, bye.